welcome to another podcast with Mrs. Jones at Walberg Elementary. Today we highlight Mrs. Brand, a dedicated second grade teacher at Walberg Elementary. Ms. Brand is known for her exceptional ability to engage her students, challenge them academically, and foster a sense of belonging within her classroom environment. Her commitment to creating a nurturing and inclusive atmosphere has made a significant impact on her students' learning experience. In addition to her teaching skills, Ms. Brand actively utilizes guided reading groups to enhance her students' literacy skills, focusing on reading strategies and phonics. This approach not only supports academic growth, but also helps build confidence amongst her young learners. Her passion for education and her genuine care for students exemplifies the qualities of her outstanding educator, making her a beloved figure in the Walberg community. Welcome, Ms. Brand.
Thank you.
So let's jump into some questions here so that parents can understand a little bit more about what Heggerty looks like in second grade. Ms. Brand, can you share how Heggerty is used in your second grade classroom?
Yes, we use Heggerty phonemic awareness curriculum in all of our second grade classrooms to help students learn to hear the sounds and words, and are intended to improve their reading, their spelling, and their writing by hearing those sounds. Heggerty is used at whole class, and we also use it in instructional or interventional groups, small groups of students. So we begin our year by using it as whole class, and then after the first semester, so third and fourth quarters, we use it more in the small group for students who need that extra support. We focus a lot in first and second grade classrooms with Heggerty and hearing the sounds of the words. These lessons are very short and they're engaging. The students have a chance to interact with hand motions, and it's just a fun way to get involved with the sounds of the words. And we actually want to show you today one lesson that we do talking about the beginning sounds. And so this is something you could do while you're driving down the road, or you can do just when you're just hanging out at home for a few minutes. It is not a long lesson, so it's not very complicated. So you can give your student a word, and so I'm going to do an example with Miss Jones. The word, say and.
And.
Add the at the beginning of the word.
Hand.
Good. Say oil.
Oil.
Add r at the beginning.
Royal.
Say aid.
Aid.
Add
Made.
So that's just a glimpse of one of our lessons with working on the beginning sounds. And at this point in the year of second grade, we're looking at the beginning sounds and ending sounds of words, and we would start to change the vowel sounds too. This is something that you are welcome to work with your child on at home, so that it's not really a scary thing. You can make it a fun little activity to do. And like we said, while you're stopped at a stoplight, see how many words you can create together.
I love that. I love that. And I thank you for bringing that, the lesson with you so parents can kind of understand what that looks like. What benefits do you see that Heggerty has for your students in your class?
These are essential skills that they're bringing through this program. For example, our students learn to identify the sounds and words. They can change or manipulate the sounds, and they can blend, which means they put the sounds together. They can also segment sounds by taking them apart and changing them. And then we call this phonemic awareness, if you've ever heard that word before. Phonemic awareness is just listening to and changing and working with sounds of words. This gives students the ability to then identify sounds when they're writing, when they think about those sounds, and then when you're at home making a list, have them tell you what sounds are in that word. Work with those individual sounds that are spoken, and then as they begin blending sounds, different ones, then they should be writing them together.
Okay. How do you feel these sub-skills that you're teaching in our kindergarten and first grade and beginning of second grade classrooms influence the way your students read?
Phonemic awareness is definitely a sub-skill. There's different sub-skills that impact students' reading. Phonemic awareness is definitely a major one. The phonics knowledge that students get ages 4 to 7, that really is the building blocks for reading. So helping them to hear them before even writing them, and then picking up that writing piece.
I think that's really important to point out to parents too, that writing piece is kind of last in that sequence of how students should read. And we'll talk more about that in a future podcast, but great setup there. Now that many of your students have the basics of reading down, how do you teach them to use those skills to be a fluent reader?
Yes, we do a lot of repeated reading. So just reading reading a story or a passage one time. We model for our students, as well as we encourage you to model for your children at home to read something again. Students reading the same text multiple times, getting feedback from that text. They work with the fluency, kind of builds that fluency, as well as building expression. They don't get so bogged down with figuring out the words. We read aloud so they can hear. We encourage you at home to read aloud. Students read along with us. We read at the same time. We call that choral reading. We give them feedback as they're reading. And we also practice, we call sight words. These are words that students see frequently or often in their reading. We practice those sight words so that they can recognize them automatically. And some of the sight words that we practice, they go along with the patterns we teach, but some of them they have to commit them to memory, and we call these heart words. So exposing your students to a variety of texts, from fiction, nonfiction, fairy tales, recipes even, different topics, that also is going to build vocabulary for your students as they're reading and to become fluent readers.
Yeah, I love that. What suggestions do you have for parents to incorporate fluency into their daily conversations?
We're so thankful for our families and that the role that they play as they partner with us to develop fluency in reading. Parents can help their students transfer these Heggerty skills with the writing and the spelling by asking them to say all the sounds in a word. So as you're reading a story at home, and you come to a word, have them that they're struggling with, have them tell you the sounds they know, the patterns they know, and then also as they're writing something down, ask them orally to tell you what are the sounds in that word, and then write down the sounds that they hear. Students are definitely successful when you guys partner with us at school to help bridge that gap for some students, just having that same playing field. And we encourage you to read aloud to your child and just model that fluency. That's just so important. Sometimes we want our students doing the work, but if you're just reading to your child, and that one-on-one time with them and modeling for them is very important here in that oral reading that you're doing. They can also read with you. Y'all read the page at the same time together. Pick up a fun magazine. Read signs as you're going down the road or in a restaurant. So take advantage of all the different print options that you have as you're spending time with your children.
Yes, I agree with that. Giving them various medias to look at definitely helps. Ms. Brand, thank you for your time today and bridging the gap between learning in the classroom and at home. And until next time, keep growing and learning.